Today what we're going to cover is we're going to cover the joining of two cables, maybe where a consumer unit's been moved or an accessory's been moved and we need to extend the cables. Hi, my name's Craig. I'm an assessor here at CERT in Hampshire, where we predominantly carry out training for our up-and-coming electricians and plumbers. We're going to cover the joining of two cables, maybe where a consumer unit's been moved or an accessory's been moved and we need to extend the cables. There are products nowadays such as Wagos and obviously Chalky Block that we've used for years, but with the advent of the new technologies, we seem to have lost a little bit in using the old technologies. What we're going to look at now is we're going to look at our cables, our tools, our cable preparation, and actually carrying out the crimping process. Firstly, our crimps come in three sizes, commonly used in three sizes, and are color coded yellow, blue, and red for your 1 and your 1.5 cables. I have some stranded 2.5 cable here, some earthen cable, green, yellow, and what we're going to do is we're going to simulate a break in the cable. And now what we're going to do is we're going to rejoin our cables. First part of the process, very important, is our cable preparation. We can check that we have actually got the right crimp by the information given to us on the cable itself. There will be a label on or a indent or some sort of identification on the cable as to the size the cable is, and we select our crimp accordingly. So, preparation of our cable using one of the tools available to us. We're going to make a nice square cut on the end to ensure that all the conductors are going to be gripped during the crimping process. Then we're going to strip back the insulation so that the outer insulation of our cable is going to be contained in our crimp. And our cable's ready to go. Not always that easy. You may be top of a ladder, you may be under the floorboards, you may be in a cupboard, you may be in a garage, somewhere not as easy as just doing it on the bench. Next, we select our crimping tool. And the crimping tools on the market now, most have a ratchet, some don't. We prefer the ratchet to give us a consistent grip on the actual crimp itself. Okay, what we're going to do now is load our crimp into our crimping tool, ensuring that the jaw part is the same colour, blue dot to the blue crimp, the weak point of the crimp, and we're going to load that into the correct part of the crimping tool, ensuring that the metal inside the crimp is level with the edge of the jaws. Then we can take our first cable, we can load it in and holding but keeping our hands away from the end, we can carry out our crimp. Every time we carry out a crimp, we give it a tug test just to make sure that we've actually captured the cables nice and firmly, nice and tightly within the crimp itself. What we have to do now is we have to reload, and this time we spin it round so that the entry is on the left hand side again, and again we're just going to line up our weak or weld point at the top at 12 o'clock inside the crimp tool. Then we'll load the cable, make sure it bottoms out, holding it nice and firm, but keeping our hands away, our fingers away from the jaws as we carry out the crimp. Again, a tug test to make sure that that crimp is nice and tight. And then with only basic insulation around our crimp and basic insulation around the cable itself, this would have to be enclosed in some form of enclosure or some sort of trunking or conduit. And that is basically our crimping.